Welcome, welcome, welcome to this edition of Transformation Thursday. We are eternally grateful and thankful that you have thought it good to join us in our discussion for today. As always, welcome my trusted friend, Christopher Chappelle. Good seeing you as always. Christopher, last year, the state of Florida was hit by three hurricanes. And they came in at various intensities and strength. Uh, as I thought about those hurricanes that hit the state as well as others, one of the things that I observe is the fact that hurricanes get stronger based upon the environment that they're in. Their intensity increases. They can quickly go from Hurricane 1 force winds all the way up to Hurricane 5 force winds. Uh, and it's all dependent upon the environment, the warmth of the waters, the humidity, the wind shear, and so on and so forth. And what I've come to realize as I thought about that is the environment that you and I are in often determine how strong we are and can be. Our families and our friends that are in our lives, in essence, often determine how strong we are and can be. Uh, our destiny is often determined by our environment. You've heard it before, and that the whole saying or the thought that if I look at your friends, I can tell you how far you will go. And so when I look at our families and I look at the friends and look at the people that are in our circle, uh, it's a indication of how strong we can be. Back in the very beginning, in the Garden of Eden, the Bible says that that uh, that God said, "I don't want man to be alone, and I will give him help." He called it helpmate to help him fulfill destiny, to help him walk in purpose and fulfill purpose, which highlights the strength of family and the value of family and the value of those people in your life that, like the hurricane, help you to gain intensity, help you to get stronger, help you to accomplish and to fulfill uh, what God has purposed in your life. And so I want to dig a little bit deeper into a thought around the value of family and the value of that strength and and power that we in essence get from the environment called family. And so I want to just throw that out to you and uh, ask you of when you think about family, what do you think about?
When I think about family, I think about the opportunity to get it right or wrong. Because just as family can propel you forward, and you're talking about the hurricane and environment, it can also be one, if not done right, can cause you to have some roadblocks and obstacles along
Mhm.
the way.
Mm.
So and thinking about the very first institution that God created was family, being family. It's extremely important for us to get it right and to dwell in unity and support the vision that God has placed. You look and you see certain families, right? I think about a friend of mine. They have a coaching family. Like just about every individual in the family, in some way, is attached to coaching. They are known for their coaching acumen, right?
Mhm.
But that's the environment that they created, and the environment that many of them grew up in and followed suit. And they have become fabulous people in terms of the service that they give, because it's more than just coaching sports. Is really about serving the mission of empowering young people to find their way and to be their very best. So, but if it wasn't for that family building that structure, then of course who knows what they all be doing. I'm saying that to say that the environment is critical in terms of how we grow.
Mhm.
And when I think about family, is it I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in, and many others that I know and are connected to wouldn't be in the position that they are in if they weren't connected to a support system that allowed them and forced them in many cases to grow in that direction of their choosing. You know, for instance, I can remember growing up, it's like, "Hey, look, you have a couple choices here when you finish school. You're gonna go to military, you're gonna go to the military." And 2 of my brothers, they chose that option. "You're gonna go to school or you gonna go to work. But if you're here, you're gonna have to find something to be productive." And
Yeah.
that was the environment set. Now, when you revisit and look back, some others didn't have that push
Mhm.
to give direction and say, "Hey, you have a choice. You're gonna have to do something productive," and they find themselves a victim of the environment that they grew up in, and that became counterproductive for them.
Yeah.
Um, but it's all about how you do family. Family done right is the most powerful thing that you can have, because that was again the first institution that God set up in a way that it was supposed to produce. Uh, it's supposed to produce all things good.
Yeah.
Supposed to produce wealth. Supposed to produce love. Supposed to produce purpose. You name it. But
Yeah.
that's my initial thought.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. You know, uh, I often have an opportunity to uh, speak with couples that are preparing to get married, and I usually walk them through this series of things. Uh, but one of the things that uh, several years ago I was thinking about was asking people this pointed question, uh, and not just for couples, but possibly even for other people that come into your life. And the question is very simple, but are you willing to suffer with me? And I thought about this question because some people can be in your life only when things are good, but the real value of family is having people who will be in your life even when they're bad. Go back to the story of the prodigal son when he left family and went out and began to squander the resources that he had. And as long as he had resources, he had people around him. He had basically created his own little outside family, but they were only there when he had resources. But when he began to suffer, they were no longer there. And the Bible says that he went back home eventually in the midst of his suffering, and family saw him, specifically his father, and welcomed him back in. If you're not willing to suffer with me when there's difficult moments, then you don't deserve to be in the place called family.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes the most sense to me because a part of love is being long suffering. Some folks are short suffering, are suffering adverse, right? They only want the good.
Mhm.
But in family, in the way that it's structured, right? That, you know, we experience highs of highs and lows of lows. But the fact that we experience them together is important. Now, you mentioned different types of family, his outside family. I think that's why it's important that we have a church family. And we call it family because that's what we are, right? When you're up, I'm up. When you're down, I'm down. We experience each other, like the Bible says, bear one another infirmities, right?
Mhm.
So, but then you have those that's outside of family, and in the way that you see the relationship with Jonathan and David, right?
Mhm.
Where you had someone that was there through thick and thin, when it wasn't popular for him to befriend
Right.
Jonathan, it wasn't popular for him to befriend David at that moment.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, he did it anyway because he had a certain affinity and care for him. And those are the type of people that we need in our lives, those who always that we will search to find the best and the good in each other, and always try to give our best to one another so that we build together. I think that's why the Bible says that iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
It didn't say why one iron sharpens while the other dull, right?
Mhm.
But we get better together, and sometimes in getting better, it's gonna require work. Sometimes it requires friction. Sometimes it requires heat or whatever it may be. But in the process, we get better. That doesn't mean that we will always agree. That doesn't mean that we will always necessarily be on the same page, but we may desire the same outcome. We may have different ways of getting there, but you can best believe that when you have somebody like that on your side, regardless to what happened, you can always count on that person. I say, I know that they have my best interest at heart. Now they didn't do it the way that I would like them to do it,
Yeah.
but I know it wasn't done out of malice. I know that it was with their best intentions and they were doing their best. So I mean, I think that's super important. I was just talking to my dad not long ago, and we were really talking about the relationship that we have with one another.
Mhm.
And he was saying, "You know what? I'm thankful to have the relationships that I have
Mhm.
because I can trust and believe that if if I was in the pit,
Yeah.
then I know that I have somebody on top that's digging earth to make sure they're doing everything that they can to come help me."
Yeah.
And that's when you have that type of confidence in the people that surround you.
Mhm.
What can't you accomplish knowing that you have that type of support? And I believe that support develops confidence, and confidence allows growth to happen in an explosive way.
Yeah. No, you said that. I can't say it any better than that. Uh, you know, I was as you were talking, one of the things that came to my mind is uh the value of investing in family, investing in the relationships, investing in you, or uh, uh, getting to where you desire to be. And I think that's so important, obviously, in family, that we are, you pointed out very well in terms of the iron sharpening iron. As we invest in one another, I invest in your dreams. I invest in your destiny. Uh, it strengthens you. It builds you. And we work this thing together. Uh, I'm literally going back to the examples that were given, whether it was um, from some of those examples from the very beginning, that we often see that, you grab hold to that. There was always this investment. There has to be an investment, and anytime there's not an investment, there's often a collapse somewhere. Uh, but as long as is an investment, uh, the family is strengthened. You are strengthened. You're able to move into what God has ordained for you. Our parents from the very beginning, we're blessed to have strong parents that invested in us, that poured into us, uh, uh, sacrificed for us so that we could get to a certain place. And then ultimately, we found as we got older, we began to do likewise. We begin to invest back into them, and likewise we invest into our families now, or into our friends, or into those that have been brought into uh, a family that's maybe biological, but one that may not be, like Jonathan and David. But you're investing in what's called the family structure to, in essence, build and strengthen and cultivate. Uh, uh, that's God's desire. That's a church. Uh, that's where He wants us to be, feel moving love and expanding love, and allowing love to move and change not just our environment, but environments. Uh, and so I think it's important when we think about family, we think also about the investments that are being made.
So let me share this, and I agree with you 100%. But perhaps there's somebody today that may not necessarily feel
Mhm,
they have that in their life, because I understand that this is a truly a gift to have such a support system around me.
mhm.
But maybe somebody's lacking that today.
Yeah.
The fact that an investment has already been made, talk about that sacrifice, and
Mhm,
I would be remiss not to say that Christ has made that sacrifice. He made that investment of love, and he made that deep deposit that no person could take from you.
mhm,
So even if you don't feel that from your immediate family, or feel like you have that within your friend group or whatever it may be, I just want you to know that the sacrifice, the investment has already been made, and it's been made for you so that you can either break the cycle or create the cycle. So there it is. You have family. And because you're listening, I have to believe that we are family, because it's based on the word that transforms us, and the word connects us and make us family.
That's it right there. That is that's it. I don't think there's anything else to add. Uh, Jesus Christ has reconciled us back to the Father into family. We are in family because of Him. The Bible says that we've been engrafted in, and now we can call Him Father, and we're all His children in this one big family. And so we'll close out our conversation right there and just simply grab hold to that notion that because of Him, I'm in family. I am in family. That's our thought on this Transformation Thursday. See you next time on Transformation Thursday.